little bit snowy out. This is actually clear, pretty clear compared to what I was just dealing with. I'm on the GoPro right now because of the falling snow. So it's probably about 31, 32 degrees, but there is a stiff wind. We're going up there into these junipers. I know on your screen they look far like little sagebrushes, but those are trees. And that's where we're headed. I only have what is on my body as far as clothing and layers. So I'm trying to take layers off because I'm working and I'm sweating and I'm hiking. But as I'm taking layers off to keep myself dry and from sweating, I'm getting hit with this snow that's just not letting off. You can see I'm kind of hunkered down underneath this tree for a minute. And there's still snow right here, but there's less snow than there is out there, which is an indication that it's kind of a good place for coverage. But what I thought was going to let off as far as weather is obviously not letting off. I took my hat off because I want my hat to stay dry. So I stuck it in my pocket. But then without a hat, my head is exposed, so I still have to wear the hood. And the hood is still warm. There was some blue sky that way. It's gone. You can't even see it anymore. So I'm still going to get farther up into the trees here. Maybe I'll get some better coverage. Here's my spot. There's my ancient chair right there that's been here since forever. So you're out on a day hike, nice little day hike. Throw 4 or 5 things in your backpack on your way out the door, and bam, blizzard. Next thing you know, you're a little turned around because the visibility is minimal, and you start to feel yourself getting wet, whether it's from you sweating or from the snow falling on you. Your gear in your backpack is starting to get wet, which can be a concern. So what do? That's what we're going to try out today. You know, I know it's easy to kind of think to yourself and tell yourself, well, if I was in a situation where I was like on a small day hike or whatever, and if it starts snowing or even raining or whatever, I'll just kind of duck and take cover under some trees, stay dry. I mean, look underneath all these trees, there's fresh snow. The snow is falling no matter what. Now, under here, that's a lot better, so that's probably where I'm going to set my chair up, is right here. But you can't just find a tree, duck under it, and stay bone dry. It's not going to happen. It's snow, but it's warm enough out that it's wet. When it's hitting you, it's melting, and it's wet. It's just making everything wet. My backpack's wet. It's falling on my head, and my hair's getting wet. And these are all not good circumstances, not good scenarios. Being wet is not a good scenario to be in. So obviously, the next thing that you try to do is have a fire, but everything else around here is wet too, so you got to figure that out. So basically, guys, pretty much everything I brought gear-wise is right here. Knife, water, and then I have my old, very, very old book of matches in a dry pocket in my coat, keeping them dry. Obviously, there's everything I'm wearing. Coat, gloves, hat I brought, and then my backpack. And then inside the backpack, obviously, there's batteries, my camera, and I have my tripod there. I also did bring one beer. It's a Melvin IPA. That's a new one I was hoping to try today. So the idea was that, hey, I'm going to bring basically what I would be bringing on a day hike. Could I start a fire if I had to start a fire? Will I be able to do it with just my knife and a book of matches? I need to start doing it now, because if it starts picking up again and dumping heavy, heavy snow again like it was a minute ago, it's going to be impossible to make shavings or keep kindling dry as I'm collecting it. So I'm kind of looking for dead pieces that are still on the tree standing upright like this. And I'm thinking if I break one of these kind of up, I could start getting some internal shavings from there. The question is what am I going to do the shavings onto? My backpack is soaking wet. That chair is obviously, you know, like, where am I going to be shaving the shavings onto to keep the shavings dry? Ugh. This is wet. Look at that inside. It's wet. That looks decently dry. Okay, I shut the camera off for a minute because I really wanted to get down to business, so I've been collecting just busted sticks, or I've been collecting just dead sticks off of these trees, just like this. Utah juniper is a funny tree because there will be dead sticks on live trees, like, all over. I think I'm going to try to use some of this bigger stuff as a buffer. Remember, I only have a knife, I don't have a saw. Yeah, well, basically, all I can really do is just try to get as many shavings as I possibly can from the driest piece of wood that I possibly have. And then when I light my match, I just have so much shavings that I'm hoping that it will help me dry off the wet pieces that I have here. I'm going to try with that. I know that doesn't look like very much. I lost so many of them in this other part here. But I'm going to get my matches out and really just try to see if I can get this to go or not. Might as well try it now. If it works and I have these shavings are good enough to get it going, then I will have a fire that much quicker. I don't know how old these matches are. They're super old Army surplus matches that I had in my fire kit, and I did try one out just to make sure, because I did not want to come out here with nothing, with matches I knew that weren't even going to work. But let's see if we can get it going with one match. Oh man, even those shavings are having a hard time getting going. To me, they seemed dry enough, but we will see if we can get this, if they will get going or not. This is still not even a fire yet. None of the wet twigs have caught. All of that is just, all that's burning is still just the shavings. You know, once you get to this point, you can't just walk away and think, oh, okay, I got a fire going, I'm done. So you see how I kind of make a little teepee? That is going to help dry these bigger pieces out and hopefully get them catching fire while these smaller pieces do their thing underneath. Obviously right now the level of seriousness is kind of dampened because this is just me, just messing around in the woods. For a second there I was about ready to give up. I was worried about this camera. I didn't want to ruin it. I was getting ready to just go straight back to the house and say, it's not worth ruining a camera over, for sure not. But now I got you out. It's still snowing. I don't know if you can see, but it's still snowing. But it's not so accumulative that I'm really worried about the camera. Now obviously if I was freezing and I was at this point where I got the fire kind of going, I would just be collecting wood, constantly finding dry wood and loading it up on here. But for me right now, I'm thinking like it's not going to stop snowing, and I really do need to get this camera home, and it is very wet out here, and I'm not planning on spending hours and hours out here. I just kind of wanted to come up here in this blizzard, see if I could get a fire going. And at this point, you know, I have very little dry firewood actually collected, so I could sit here and watch this kind of burn down while I drink my IPA. Uh-oh. Beer got a little shooked. Just a little. Woo! Melvin Brewing out of Alpine, Wyoming. You can see that's the cool, like, I don't know, what is that guy, a robot or something with the hop in his face? Hop face guy? Two brewers walk into a Thai restaurant in Wyoming, day drink, and write a recipe. The beer that came from that day started an empire. Well, not really, but the beer was exactly what they wanted, so they made a hell of a lot more of it. Look at you, Melvin. You're all grown up. It's funny, I have a buddy, one of my good buddies named as Melvin. He owned that cabin that we went to in the cabin video that I made where it dumped snow. So, and he likes IPAs. But anyway, this is a good day. It's a short hike, short video. I just wanted to kind of do something different for myself, and it really worked out. I'm about 1.5 miles from my truck, which is basically parked at my parents' house on their property. So, yeah, I'm gonna drink this beer, watch this fire putter out. Peace out, Haggards out, Haggards out.